Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CoinNewsExtra live AMA session. So a beautiful Saturday evening. It is over here in Lagos State, Nigeria. So we're happy to be coming your way again with an exciting program like this. So it's CoinNewsExtra TV AMA session. So we are doing today's edition is with Joined Africa. So I'm going to be hearing about this amazing project of Joined Africa. So before I welcome the team of Joined Africa, do well to follow Coin News Extra TV across all social media platforms at Coin News Extra TV. And also you can as well, there is a barcode, a QR code that will be on your screen for you to be able to check out the Joined African platform so far. And also, remember, we are live across different channels. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and also on LinkedIn. So whichever platform you are joining us, you know how we do it on this segment, on this program, on this platform. We always take questions from you guys. So if you have questions about Joined Africa, by the time they explain what it's all about, if you have questions, please do well to drop it on the comment section. We're going to be getting to that segment where we'll be able to take questions from you guys. Also, we're going to go for a very quick break. When we return, I'm going to be introducing our guests. But right about now, we're going for a quick break. Please do not go anywhere. We will be right back. Now, welcome back to the show. It's still Coin News Extra TV AMA session. We joined Africa. So joining us on this conversation is Mena Agina, who is the co-founder and CEO Joined Africa. Mena, you're welcome. Mena, can you hear me? You're welcome to the show.
I can hear you. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. So joining Mena on the conversation on the AMA session is Josephine Obani, who is the co-founder of Join Africa. You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you guys on the show. So I'm your host for this show, Lee. So not wasting much of our time, we're going to be going into the conversation proper. So first of all, I would like to get the intro, a brief intro about the two guests, the two founders of Join Africa. Let me start with Mena. Mena, just a brief about you and your background.
All right, so my name is Mena Agina. I currently live in Canada, a software engineer, and I'm the founder of Join Africa. Join Africa started last year, 2022, when I first had the idea about Join Africa. And ever since, I've been building Join Africa.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, let me hear from you, Josephine. Just a bit about you and your background, Josephine.
Okay. So my name is Josephine Obani, and I'm the co-founder of Joined Africa, and I'm also a social media strategist. Yeah. So and I reside in Abuja, Nigeria. So there's really nothing too intense to talk about me, but let's just delve into.
Okay, no problem. Nice one. So we have our guest joining us from Canada and Abuja, Nigeria, to talk about Join Africa. They are the founders of Africa. So let's delve into the conversation proper. Let's look at what's Join Africa and how does it work.
All right. So just to be clear, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right. So Join Africa is a marketplace, okay, where sellers in Africa can advertise their products in cryptocurrency, okay, and buyers that are interested in this product can reach out to these sellers on our platform. Okay, so we are making it possible for sellers to not only be seen in their local community, but globally across Africa by empowering the sellers to simply take an image of what they want to advertise and list it on our site. Okay, so let me tell you how it works. Can you still hear me?
Yes, please go ahead. I can hear you.
All right, so let me tell you how it works. So before a seller can advertise your product, they first need to have an account to join Africa. Once the account is created, okay, it's going to take them to a new page where they fill out a form about the product that they want to advertise. So they take the images, give a description, give its title and the price, and any other detail the form might ask. Then you submit the form. So when the seller submits the form, we review the details of the form, making sure the images are clear, the description is good, the title, the price, everything makes sense before the post is released to the market. This is how Join Africa works.
Interesting. Anything to add there, Josephine? Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't have anything to add. It's okay.
Okay. How does Joint Africa, one of the things we're looking at when it comes to online transactions, e-commerce platforms, peer-to-peer platforms, is about security. So one will ask, how does Joint Africa ensure secure transactions when it comes to cryptocurrency?
Okay, let me answer that. Now, how do we secure transactions between the buyer and seller? We encrypted this escrow. Escrow here acts as a middleman. Yes, the escrow acts as a middleman, and the buyer, when the buyer reaches out to this seller, right? Whatsoever message they get, whatsoever transaction that is being done, it's not just only to them. Do you get, like, when the payment is being made, this escrow is kind of a middleman. Now, when this payment is made, everybody on this platform sees what is happening. It's not just between the buyer and seller again. This is when it has gone. There's payment method now, not just messaging. The escrow acts as a middleman, and whatsoever that is happening, everybody tends to see it, not just the buyer and seller. The other advertisers sees what is happening to on this platform, so that there is no hitches, or there's nothing that's happening behind the scene that say. So that's just it.
So this is,
Oh, interesting.
can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
So this
Yeah,
is
go
one
ahead.
of the reasons why we use blockchain technology as transparency, right? So every transaction that happened on Join Africa is saved on the blockchain. Okay, so I send you money, it's saved on the blockchain. It doesn't have the money doesn't have to reach your bank account for you to know that I actually sent you money. You can verify this on the network.
Yeah,
Okay,
we are,
and also this escrow service, that we've put in place, whereby there is a middleman that's involved in every transaction. This middleman is the blockchain. Okay.
okay, no problem. I really understand what you're trying to explain. One of the advantages about being on the blockchain, you were saying, is about the transparency nature of blockchain and also the secure nature of blockchain technology. I know one would also say there's one definition about blockchain. Someone was saying instead of trusting a single person, it's better you trust everybody. So that's how, in a nutshell, how blockchain works. Instead of trusting an individual, you trust everybody. So trust is distributed to everyone on the blockchain network. So let's look at what sets joined Africa apart from other people? I know there must be other your competitors, people who are already doing what you are doing now, people who are maybe ahead of you or who are where you are already. What makes joined Africa different from other marketplaces? Let's start with Africa and Nigeria.
Okay. What sets us apart from every other online marketplace is number one is the cryptocurrency, the one currency we're using. And even if it's in Nigeria here, it's still cryptocurrency, no matter your location. But if it's within Africa, it's still cryptocurrency. And another thing is that's number one. Another thing is the networking, connecting the buyer and the seller, not just um, locally but also globally. This seller sees another seller that sells his or her products, and or another buyer, a buyer in another African country, or since you're restricting it to Nigeria, a buyer in another state gets to see a product that is in Lagos, for example. You know, this is about the thing is the major thing is the one currency we are using, the cryptocurrency.
Okay. Cryptocurrency. I know
Okay,
there
and,
is a place.
and if I may,
Okay, go ahead, please.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
And
go
if I may
ahead.
add to what Josephine said, so if we restrict ourselves to just Nigeria, okay, how we support sellers locally is by making it easy for buyers that live very close to them to find the product that they want. Okay, so for example, I am a buyer, for example, and I want to buy a new shoe. We've put it in place whereby the products that come out on the site are from sellers that live very close to them. And we can also expand this globally, not just sellers in Nigeria, we can expand it across Africa by following this model. Yes, that's just what I wanted to add.
Yeah, that answer will lead us to the next question because what we're looking at, when you talk about cryptocurrencies, whatever that is happening in cryptocurrency, people look at the likes of NFTs, buying against other cryptocurrencies, and the rest of other things that happens in the crypto ecosystem. So, what are some of the products that are accessible? Talking about your marketplace, what are the things that sellers can come, or buyers and sellers, what brings them together? What are some of the products that are being sold on your platform?
Okay, let me take this up. Now there are two categories. We are still starting. So for now, we are just focused on two categories. That's the electronics and fashion products. Electronics gadget like you have the phone, your TV set, and fan, standing fan, phone, and fashion accessories, shoes, belt, wristwatch, all those stuff. This is just the two category we are focusing on for now. The reason being that these are things that are in vogue. People want to get gadgets for use, and people also want to wear clothes, look good, fashion. So these are the two main things we are considering for now. With time, when we expand, we can add more categories to the platform. For now, we just focus on the fashion and electronics.
Okay, interesting.
And let me add to that too. Let me add to that too. So one of the reasons why we chose those two is because everyone in their homes has either a fashion product or an electrical product to advertise. Okay, so in your home you have clothes you no longer use that are tight, that are just there, or you have shoes that are tight, that just or slippers in your house that you no longer wear. Everyone has electrical products, fashion products to advertise. So so that's why we chose those two categories to start with. And with time we are going to add other categories.
Yeah, interesting. With time, they are going to add other categories. I know startups, what happens is that everything is gradual, but once you start with these categories, before you know it, you move to the next other categories, and before you know it, it becomes a wildfire. That's how it works. So right about now, we're going to go for a quick break. So we've been able to have amazing conversation so far with the Joint African team. I've been able to look at how the platform works. Some of the things that makes Joint Africa secured, what set them apart, and all the rest of them. And so I just have a few questions here before we jump over to the session for our audience to ask their own questions, because it's a session, AMA session. So we need to get questions from you, guys out there. So if you have your questions, do where to drop them. Right about now, we're going to go for a short break. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still AMA session, CoinNewsExtra TV AMA session with Joint African team. So let's look at other questions that I have here. How does Joint Africa, when it comes to marketplace, you're not the one selling. People are not coming to buy directly from Joint Africa. It's a marketplace. People bring in sellers and buyers meet together on your platform. So sometimes you see how it happens on P2P, even cryptocurrency P2P platforms. There may be disputes and other things, disagreement or misunderstanding between buyer and seller. How does Joint Africa tend to handle these situations?
Okay. So, for example, if we are talking about transaction disputes between buyer and the seller, okay, so let's say I, the buyer, I sent money to the seller, okay. Meanwhile, the seller has received it, but you're saying they didn't receive it. So this is how we handle it, and this is one of the reasons why we are using blockchain, because transactions are live and everyone can see it. So once they are made, okay, it can't be changed. So that's one. Two is this escrow service that we are using, whereby there is a middleman, and I can dive into this escrow service to tell you how it works, if I may.
Please go ahead.
All right. So now this is how it works. Buyer and the seller, they conclude to transact with each other. So this includes the price of the product, okay, the description of the product, the images. The buyer loves the product, and they conclude it. So now this conclusion is given to the blockchain. It's saved there. Okay. So now next, the buyer, okay, sends the money to the middleman, not to the seller. Sends the money to the middleman. The middleman, which is the blockchain, now has the money. Okay, the seller ships the product. The seller ships the product. When the buyer receives the product, if they accept it, the middleman releases the funds to the seller. So we've put in these measures to handle any form of disputes that might arise between buyers and seller in the marketplace.
Yeah, I understand. That smart contracts, whereby everything is automated, and it makes it easier. One of the challenges when it comes to some other platforms that are traditional platforms that are marketplaces, is that you have to wait for the seller or to the buyer to send in proof of payment from his or her bank and all that. But this one is done on the blockchain network, which is transparent and easy to confirm. That's a very good one there. Thank you on that. It makes it more easier for people, users, to be able to resolve dispute, because dispute is a very big challenge when it comes to marketplaces. So your platform is blockchain focused, is built on the blockchain network. I mean, you accept only cryptocurrency. What are the cryptocurrencies that are being accepted? Is it every cryptocurrency that you accept, or are there some cryptocurrencies that you accept on your platform?
No, sorry. It's just one cryptocurrency that is accepted, and which is the BTC, the Bitcoin. The reason why we use the Bitcoin is because the Bitcoin has stayed, the Bitcoin has been in vogue. It has been there, like, consistent. It has been consistent for quite a long time now. And these other coins, Dogecoin, the the other cryptocurrency, people use them. You get, people use them, but we are not incorporating that now because we still want to maintain that transparency. It is just one. Like, since we are growing, when we keep growing, we can add more coins. We can use more cryptocurrency to do transaction. But for now, it's just one Bitcoin, so that it will even harness the challenge of bringing disputes between the buyer and the seller.
Mena, you have
Okay,
anything?
let me also add to
Okay, please go
yes, let me
ahead.
also add to that too. So now we see that a lot of people use Bitcoin. So this is the reason why why we are using Bitcoin, because is the currency that a lot of Nigerians, Africans are familiar with. So we are using what everyone is familiar with. So this is the reason why we only use Bitcoin.
Okay, that's very nice. And there is other things.
Yeah.
But we'll be able. I have some other questions here. But because of time, let's take some questions from our audience. Then I'll be able to come back to my own questions here. So this segment now is going to be for our audience. But before that, we'll go for a very short break there. When we return, it's going to be our audience segment where we take questions from the audience. Please do not go anywhere. If you have your questions, drop them on the comment section. Any platform you're going to be getting it, any platform you're watching from, don't bother, drop it on the comment section. We'll be able to get those questions. Okay, thank you very much. We're going for a short break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still CoinNewsExtra TV AMA session with Joint African team. So it's been a nice conversation so far. And also, if you want to check out their platform, there is a QR code where you'll be able to whitelist on the screen there. You're going to see a QR code. Please do wait to scan it, and I'll be able to access and sign up and check out their platform. It's amazing. So right about now, let's check out some of your questions there. So my producer is bringing them up. So one here is from Godswill Ban. How can someone fund his account on Join Africa? That's a nice question.
So how can someone fund their account to join Africa? As for now, we are currently redesigning our website, okay, adding more features to it. Okay, so this is why there is the wait list. Okay, when the site is done, we will contact you to come onto the site. Okay, the buyers and the sellers will contact you to come onto the site. But as for now, we are still working on the platform.
Okay. I guess that question is about you see, are there going to be option to fund it in future? Since it's a peer-to-peer platform, I guess is there going to be a time to fund the account later? Are you going to in a later in future have a situation where you buyers or sellers can upload their accounts inside your platform? Are they just going to be interacting directly with the buyers and sellers? Do you have options for that in future?
Is it is it the buyer that is funding, or the seller that is funding, or is just the both of them?
Yeah, just
Because
asking. Yeah, or how is it if you want to fund, whether you are a seller or buyer? Are there options to fund?
definitely there will. It's going to be incorporated into the site. There will.
Okay, okay. Next question there from um Shark Tech. I say, is the platform on blockchain? What chain is Join Africa built on? So he's asking what blockchain is it built on?
Okay, so blockchain is built on the ICP blockchain. sorry, Join Africa is built on the ICP blockchain. Okay, so all these
Okay.
actions are on the ICP blockchain.
Okay, that's it from Shaq. I hope that answers your question. Next question here. Yusuf J. I can see cars and other electronics. How do you make sure goods and transactions are seamless since this is on blockchain? That's Yusuf asking. Who's going for that?
All right, so I'll go for it. So yes. So our old website, yes, has all these other categories, but this new redesign will focus on just two. It will focus on just fashion products and electrical products only. So fashion products like shoes, belts, bags, and electrical products like phones, laptops, and the rest. Okay, and then the other part of the question is how do we make sure that goods and transactions are seamless through as are
Since
seamless since this
this
is on
is on the
blockchain.
blockchain.
So how do we make sure goods and transactions are seamless since it's on the blockchain? Ooh, so that's a very good question. Mm,
That's why, let me answer that. That's why we have
all
the
right, go
escrow,
ahead.
the middleman. Do you get? Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. So the question says, how do you make sure goods and transactions are seamless since this is on blockchain? That is why we have the escrow, the middleman. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, if you send your goods if you are a seller and you see a product you like a bag, and you speak to the seller, you speak to this seller and you agree on this is the amount, this is how it's going to be. You people talk on the way to, get this product to this person. For now, we will put that in the future, like delivering the product. But for now, we're not doing that. So this escrow gets the money from the seller and holds on to it. The money it's no longer with the seller, neither is it going to go to the buyer. Do you understand? So
Yes.
when this seller sees this product, when this buyer sees this product and is happy about the product, then he gives a confirmation code and like a confirmation message, or sent to the escrow. The money is then transferred to the seller. Although this is going to take a number of days, so that the buyer alerts the escrow or alerts the seller. So the escrow pays this money to the seller.
Okay, interesting.
So in
Next
summary,
question.
in summary
Okay.
of what let me summarize what Josephine just said. Okay, so we use this escrow service. There is this middleman that's involved in every transaction to make sure that the buyer is satisfied with the product, the seller gets their money. If the buyer isn't satisfied, okay, won't send the money over to the seller. Okay, so this is how we ensure that there is no fraudulent activity going on either the buyer or the seller on the site.
Yeah, interesting. Is a smart contract programmed once the buyer is not satisfied, it leaves a negative feedback or something like that, and the money is refunded automatically. So everything is automated on the blockchain network. Our next question is from um, Nina. Nina is meaning, I don't know. How do you protect buyers and sellers from spam and internet fraudsters?
Okay, so it ties back to this escrow service again. This escrow does
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. Let's next question from um, is it John? From John is good day, sir. My question is how does you I think this is how do you handle security of funds? Does it work like P2P where funds will be held until the recipient confirm the transaction. I guess that's also close to what we just answered now. We have already answered it with the earlier question. So we move to the next one. Nance, is what makes it different and unique from other trading platforms? I guess you has also answered that. I have asked that question too, but if you can just briefly highlight that, just briefly.
Okay. So the question is, what makes Join Africa different from other marketplaces?
Yes.
Okay. So we've talked about, this one currency, Bitcoin that we use. Looking at Africa, okay, there are 54 different countries, and each of them using their own currency. So marketplaces have to be focused on buyers and sellers in one specific country. So we are disrupting that. This is why we are using Bitcoin, whereby a buyer from Ghana, okay, can see a product in Nigeria and pay for that product, regardless of what currency that they are using. So that's
Okay.
one. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So now the second one is this. All right. So the second one is this. A lot of people are afraid of anything online. Okay, yeah, afraid of scam. Is it scam? They're afraid of, buying products online. So we've put in services, this escrow service, to make sure that the seller doesn't have to trust the buyer. The buyer also doesn't have to trust the seller. We've automated it to make sure that everything works according to planned.
Okay. Next question there is, you mentioned the middleman. Please, can you explain better? I guess the middleman is the smart contract. Is that not it?
Okay, Nance, can I say something?
Please
Let
go
me say
ahead.
something.
Please go ahead.
Nance, I think you don't still understand the middleman. Now, let me break it down. Let's say you want to bet. You are in a betting room, right? And you have your money. Let's say you have $20 and the other person brings $20. You people give it to a third person to hold it. Do you get? So that anybody that wins, the money is handed to the person. So the person is not going to favor anybody regardless. This is what this third person is doing, the middleman is doing, the escrow is doing. The money will not be with the seller, neither will it be with the person that has the product. Sorry, the person that has the product and the person buying it. The escrow is going to hold it. So if you as a seller, you don't like the product, automatically the escrow refunds your money while you return the product. But if you like the product, the money gets to the money gets to the seller. If you are buying the product and you don't like it, the money gets back to you, the buyer. Do you understand? But if you love the product, the money goes to the seller. This is how the middleman works. I hope you understand now.
Yeah, yeah, believe that you explained it better now. So let's look at the next question. Tari is asking, is it Tari or Ferry? Since you guys transact with crypto, are there plans for joined Africa native token? Are there plans for joined Africa native token like a utility token?
Maybe in the foreseeable future. Okay, but right now we're not focused on that.
Okay, you heard that right now.
But there are plans for it. There are plans for it.
Okay, you can hear that. There are plans to have their token, but for now they are concentrating on the Bitcoin. So watch out for when that will happen. I know they'll be coming up with updates on that. So John is asking, that's the next question. John is asking, how do you plan to handle or stop people from selling fake or less quality products? So I guess it has already been answered as well because of when the buyer has to confirm the products and be able to Once he confirms that it doesn't like the product is being returned back, and his or her money automatically returned back to his or her own account or cryptocurrency wallet. Okay, next question is Gary. It's asking if a token wants you to list his token for transaction, um, is it allowed to? What can this work? I don't know what can this work any payment? I don't know. I didn't understand that, but you can take the first one. Do you list? Are you going to be listing some projects that have their token for them for their token to be used as a means of payment on your platform? Maybe now or later in future.
It's Bitcoin. For now, we focus on just Bitcoin.
Okay, Gary, you have heard it. They are focusing on Bitcoin. For now, I guess. Is there any other questions? So there's no other question from audience. All right, about now, I still have a few questions here. Before we wrap up the conversation, we will go for a short break. When we return, is my turn now. No longer the segment for the audience. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back. Yeah, welcome back to the show. It's still CoinNewsExtra TV AMA session with Joint African team. So far, we've been able to look at this amazing project, and they have really explained their project and answered a lot of questions from our amazing audience. So let me just ask one or two that I have here, questions that I have here before we wrap up the conversation. What's the future? How do you see the future for Joint Africa?
So right now we are onboarding. We're in the process of redesigning our website. Okay. So once that is done, okay, we're going to onboard the people on the wait list. So there's a wait list, okay, where you put in your name, your email, phone number. When the redesign is done, we will contact you. If you're a seller, we'll contact you to come onto the site to start advertising your product. If you're a buyer, we'll contact you to come check out the product that you like.
Okay, you can hear that. That's what they have in mind for now. So I don't think I have any other question. But like this one, let me check this one. And is there a messaging platform inside your Joint Africa platform? Where how does it work? Where the buyers and sellers interact? Where they communicate inside the app, or do they just meet and communicate outside?
So there is a built-in messaging application inside the app. Okay, so buyers use this built-in application to get more information about the product that they want from the seller. Okay, so this is a one-on-one conversation where it's like chatting with your friend on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and the rest of other social media, other messaging application. Okay, so this is how it works. So first of all, the buyer needs to have an account with Join Africa. So once the buyer has an account, they locate the product that they want. So next to the product, there is a message box where they type in their message and send it. When the seller comes online, they'll see the message sent from the buyer. Okay, and this conversation can start happening there on the platform. Okay.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Nice conversation it has been so far. I really enjoyed the conversation, and it's really explained better about Join Africa. So if you are interested, I will advise or encourage our audience to do well to check out the Join Africa platform. For now, you can be on the waiting list. That barcode is on the screen now. You can scan the QR code and be able to whitelist, be on the waiting list, so they'll be able to contact you once their platform, their website is back in place. That I believe that's okay for now. So, do you have anything to tell our audience before we draw the curtain, Mena? Anything? Just a word.
I want to say that you all check out the waiting list, put your name, put your email, because we are going to contact you. I will contact you personally to invite you to the site. Okay, when the redesign is complete, I will personally contact you. Okay, thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Josephine.
All right. To the audience, I'll tell you to join the waitlist as soon as possible. It's a beautiful site, and I'm happy to join heads with MENA to make this possible. And never forget that as a seller, as a buyer, or you don't have any products to sell, think of those shoes you don't have. Sorry, think of those shoes you have, but they are worn out. You want to sell them. Think of those belts, those bags, and you're good to go.
Everyone has products lying in their house that they can advertise. Everyone has it. Slippers they no longer wear just in the house. You put it on the site. You know
Yeah, interesting. I have some that I will also, I can't wait for the platform.
exactly,
Let me
exactly,
so say some of the things I don't like, I don't really need now, and start the crypto.
exactly, exactly,
Amazing conversation. It
exactly.
has been super. Thank you very much. And our audience who brought out time to joining us, we really appreciate your time. So do well to check out the Joint African Team platform and also be on the wait list. And also do well to follow Coin News Extra TV across all social media platforms at Coin News Extra TV to stay up to date with everything happening there in the blockchain, crypto, AI, and fintech ecosystem. Also, check out our app. If you are an Android user, search out for CNUTV on or CoinNewsExtra TV. Anyone you're okay with, and you'll be able to download our part. Our app is a um, our app for your you'll be you see everything about the app and stay up to date with latest information. So thank you very much. It's amazing time spent so far with you guys. Mena again, our founder and CEO joined Africa. Thank you very much, and also Josephine Obani, co-founder joined Africa. Thank you very much. What amazing name we have joined Africa today. Thank you very much and bye.
Nice having us.
Our pleasure.